Yeah, big story this morning, and this Fox News alert for you as we start the second hour of America's Newsroom. A court overseas convicting a former British Airways worker of plotting to blow up an airplane. 31-year-old Rajiv Karim, a Bangladeshi man, was convicted now of 4 counts of engaging in the preparation for a terrorist attack. And listen to this. Prosecutors say that he used his position within the airline to plot the attack with none other than Anwar al-Awlaki, who we've all become far too familiar with in this situation. He, of course, was in communication with the Times Square would-be bomber, with the Christmas Day underwear would-be bomber as well, and also with the Fort Hood bomber. So this is a very significant development that this employee, Bangladeshi man in the UK, British Airways employee, wanted to work with Awlaki to potentially blow up an airplane. He was a computer technician, we're told. And what we're really interested in right now, among everything with this story, is how they caught him. We've seen a lot of sting operations that have uncovered people who were interested in pulling off terrorist activities. But you want to get the feeling that maybe something's working in our airline security system that shed some light on this situation. So we're waiting for more information.
And my guess is he probably cut a deal with prosecutors in the UK also. With regard to Awlaki, here was a guy who was born and raised in Las Cruces, New Mexico, moved to Colorado with his family before leaving for Yemen with his family around the age of 8 or 9. You remember the testimony from just a week ago from our leading intel officials on Capitol Hill. They say that Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, which is what Awlaki is in charge of right now, is the most serious threat to the United States today. He speaks perfect English. He prints that magazine in English called Inspire. He's on the web just about every day. And people all over the world can log on to his message. And that is a very, very scary proposition for intel folks trying to fight against him.
Let's bring in Michael Scheuer, who's former CIA counterterrorism analyst and former head of the CIA's bin Laden unit. And he's a good friend to this show, helps us out with these kind of situations quite often. Michael, what do you think about this conviction for this young Bangladeshi man?
Well, it's certainly a good thing that we stopped him, but it once again proves, I think, that Al-Qaeda and its allies appeal to the best and brightest in the Muslim world. This guy was a computer specialist, and it's a very disturbing thing because they actively seek to infiltrate airlines, port authorities, all other kinds of official institutions. So it's kind of the tip of the iceberg, I think.
Yeah. You look at the different situations that Awlaki has been connected with in this country, as I, reeled them off before. The Times Square bomber, the Christmas Day would-be underwear bomber, the Fort Hood killer, who managed to pull off those deaths at Fort Hood tragically. And now we're learning about this man. It's a scary feeling, Michael. You feel like it's just a matter of time before one of these guys gets very, very lucky.
Well, I think it will be luck, but it would also be skill. These are not dumb people, but I think we also have just suffered through a wave of mainstream media nonsense about Al-Qaeda not being effective or irrelevant anymore. As you said, Al-Qaeda is now operating out of Yemen, where it was not operating effectively at 9/11. So in addition to Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Yemen, they have Iraq, North Africa, and Somalia. And so the idea that somehow Al-Qaeda is no longer a threat to us is nice to believe, but wholly inaccurate.
Well, that's a very interesting point. And you feel like the media has portrayed that in a way that is dangerous for us?
Yeah, the idea that 80 million Egyptian Muslims, for example, are going to go from their 1,000-year-old faith to secular democracy in the next year or 6 months can only be believed by very uneducated people, I think.
All right.
Whatever comes next in Egypt and Tunisia will be much more Islamic and much less opposed to very strong Islamic groups like Al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood.
Well, you are on record as having said that here, and we thank you very much for calling in. Big development today out of the UK. Michael Scheuer, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
One other thing on Awlaki, it goes under the radar oftentimes. He was connected to one of the mosques in the Washington, D.C. area.
That's right.
And had direct contact with at least 2, maybe 3 of the hijackers responsible for September 11th. A very, very dangerous man.
Indeed.